Alrighty, let's try this again. Miss Trudy, you're all being awful pushy today. So what happens when you work with animals? They like to spill things, and when you're trying to do things one-handed, it doesn't necessarily always work out that way. All right, Trudy, you can have that. You can have that. Come on, Trudy. Butters, come on. So Trudy's gonna be a smarty pants. Miss Butters. And we put the treat. They get about a handful of treats. I'm sorry, this video is kind of all over the place, but that's what happens when you're trying to video with animals. Come on, Miss Butters. Come on, Miss Butters. You ready? When you try to video animals and nobody cooperates because they don't speak your language. Hi, Butters. What you got? What you got? Yeah. She really loves animal crackers, but we're almost out. So I'm trying to do this the easy way. And just, because she'll usually get up on the milk stand by herself. Come on, Butters. Hey. Come on. I know, Miss Trudy's up there, isn't she? She being a little piggy. Come on, Miss Trudy. Come on, Butters. Down, Trudy. Down. There you go. There you go. All right. Look at you go, Miss Butters. Look at you go, Miss Butters. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. Oh, there we go. Gotcha. Gotcha. Good girl. Trudy, it is not your turn. You don't even have... Come on. Down we go. Down we go. So normally, when I do this... No, Trudy. Yeah. That's what happens when you work with animals. It's comedy gold, right? All right. I need you, Miss Trudy, to find something else to do, please. Yes, you're very pretty. You're very pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to park this on the table and hope that Trudy doesn't eat it. The camera, that is. And then I will go through my regular routine of milking, and then we'll get back with you guys in just 1 second. No, Trudy. I'm going to have to get her some treats so she's not ever going to stay out of it. Come on, baby. Come on, Trudy. Hey. No, 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 no. Nope, that's clean. You can't be in that. Come on, Trudy. Here. You want some treats? Nope. Come on, Trudy. I hear you. Trudy. Come on. There you go. You can have that one. That one's really good. You can go in there. Go on. Now, I close the gate so she can't. Come on, Trudy. Come on, Trudy. Normally, in the mornings when I milk them, I leave Trudy in the pen and give the treats to, give a few treats to Trudy and then the others to Butterscotch. That way, I'm not wrestling two goats. But this morning, we let them out so that I could wait for the sun to come up a little better. And then I'm going to try and position this so that you can see and hear me, but I'm not sure how this is going to work with my flip it around. Let's see how that. We'll make it work. There we go. This is Miss Butters. And she is happily munching away at her treat. And then I'll wash my hands really well. And then normally what I'll do is when we get ready to come out, I'll put the white in my hand so they get nice and warm. And then she's not, she doesn't jump when you put the white on her because it's not cold. So, I mean, who likes cold gel or cold water, right? She's a good girl, and she's doing really well. And so what I do is, first I make sure the bowl is still clean because Trudy's been all over it. I give a squirt to the ground just to make sure she's good and that she knows I'm here and what I'm here for. And then we take the white and I go all the way around the one. Whoop, with it. All the way around the other one. And that gets set aside. And we do one squirt, and you look for any kind of indication that there would be lumps or anything that's not normal. And as you do it, you'll understand, you'll get to see what's normal for your animal. Now, the herding's fine. She's great. No clumps, you feel the udder to make sure that you don't have any fever, make sure she's not hot or getting ready to, have any kind of infection or anything like that. So what you're feeling for is heat or clogs or any kind of signs of mastitis. So once that's out of the way, you just kind of get to it. And then what I do is I'll hold the udder. She's gotten really super good about not moving on the stand, and I've gotten a lot better about getting it done quickly so she don't have to stand still for so long. But she understands this is where the treats come from, and I hope you guys can still hear me. I'm not talking really loud. No. You're doing really good. So we just milk until the udder is soft and the teats no longer fill with milk. I know. We're running out of treats over here. She's doing really good. Consistently gives us a cup or more a day, which the kids absolutely love. And you get it cold real fast, and they just absolutely love it. It's so thick and creamy. It's almost like it's about halfway between a heavy cream and half and half. So it's just thick and creamy. And Nigerian dwarves are known for their butterfat content, as well as Lamanches, which really can't wait to try Trudy's milk, because I really think she's part Lamanche and part dwarf. So we'll see. Just because of her ears. Lamanches, for the most part, they don't have any kind of external ears, and since she's got little ears, I know she's part Lamanche at least. I'm thinking the rest, because of her stature, she's probably Nigerian dwarf and Lamanche mix. And then, once you get to the point where the udder is starting to get soft and the teeth aren't filling up like immediately, you just give it a buck, jiggle her udder a little bit, talk to her sweet, and buck it. Because you'll notice when baby goats are called kids, when the kids come to drink, they'll nudge the udder and it helps to let the milk down. Now she's comfortable, so she always lets her milk down for her. But to make sure that you get it all so that it doesn't end up with anything stuck in there, because if you milk them dry, they'll keep producing. And you don't want to leave, unless you try to dry them off, you don't want to leave that. Once we find out whether or not she's actually pregnant, then you dry them off right before they're to deliver, so that they don't have, so their nutrition is not going towards making milk, it's going towards making babies. And you're going to clean that off. Good. Tell her what a good girl she is. And then here is all the goodies. It's nice and warm and delicious. And I'll close up the trees and clean it off. And then for you after that is I let her loose. Precious, you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. Good, absolutely delight. And then we take the treat bucket off the thing, off the milk can, and then I put it back. Here, let me turn that back around. The bucket we use for treats. It goes on the outside for the day. On the outside of the pen here. It just clips to the fence so that they have treats inside and outside of, and then I let Miss Trudy out. That way they're not having to go all the way inside for goodies. And that's their grain for the day. because they cruise around the yard eating roughage and playing on the milk stand, because apparently that's what we do. Yep, that's what we do. Now I'm going to get the scoop, and we put the scoop back in the grain. And I'll take you guys back inside and show you what we do from here. So let me get my fruit, my wipes. Trudy, if you knock that milk over, I'm going to be mad. The treats, the wipes, and the milk. And so we're going to head back inside. Please excuse all the mess. We're still trying to figure out where we're going to be. Whether we're going to stay here or whether we're going to keep looking for our forever homestead. But in the words of Jess from Roots and Refuge, we are in the classroom. We're turning the waiting room into the classroom. This is the goat feed and hay. We keep it under here because it doesn't get wet. And then here we go inside with, barely got the milk. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, and these are the critters because our dogs are absolute nightmare. And kitchen's not as functional as I'd like for it to be, but we pour the milk directly into the coffee filter to strain it.
Perfect. Mommy?
What, baby?
I don't know what this word means.
That word is possible.
Possible?
Very good. All right, set the treats and the wipes down so that I can get through this part, because, and I keep all the milk in mason jars so that they don't, because they don't have any seams, and they work really well for, oops, I had my finger over. Sorry. All right, I keep all of the milk in mason jars. Now, normally I use a jelly jar, but I'm out of jelly jar, so we're going to use a bigger one. But see, the coffee filter and the strainer get all of anything out that would be, unsavory, including like hair or anything that could get in while you're milking. And then what you're left with is clean, pure, beautiful, creamy milk. And that goes, we used to use that bowl as an ice bath, and we would sink the metal bowl into the ice bath and swirl it until it was the right temperature. But I think what we were actually doing was agitating the butterfats in the milk so it would come out really super thick, almost like a cream, like a sour cream, but not sour. So what I started doing instead to get the milk cooled down quickly is, in the back of our refrigerator, like to freeze things. So I just started putting it in the back of the refrigerator to get it cooled down quickly, because the reason that you want to cool it down super quick is so that it doesn't develop any of that goaty taste. And because our refrigerator freezes things in the back, we put the freshest to the back and then move the others forward. So they've all been really super good, and we don't leave them long enough to develop any kind of anything. Like, the milk is typically drank within the day or two. We're only getting about a cup, and the kids are like, well, we don't want to use that because then we'll run out. And I'm like, well, we get more every day, so there's really no reason not to use it. Otherwise, we're milking to decorate the refrigerator with milk, and that's not how we do things. So, oh, and because my sink has got stuff in it, I'm gonna rinse. These are rinsed out for now, and then I'll come in and do the boiling and sterilizing. But this is my orchids. Some of them, I was kind of off for this channel. I'm so proud of my orchids because these are all rescues from the Lowe's table of death. But if you can look and see this one right here, that's a baby. So in my care, this one has decided to put off a baby. This one has put off, there's one, and they're called cakeys. there's 2 on this plant, and then there's another one on this plant. So of my 4 Phalaenopsis orchids, they've put off 3 Phalaenopsis orchids, sorry. They've put off 4 babies. And this one is I believe it was a dendrobium. And it's still hanging on, but I haven't seen any flowers out of it. It does have some new growth, but that's my tour of my window plants. So, but we'll go, let me put the treats away and show you guys what's been going on in the front yard. There's my other window of variously dying plants because the cats can't keep their paws off of the house plant, so I keep having to move them. But we're going to come in here to the front and we'll come outside and I'll show you guys what's going on out here. A hot mess is what's going on out here. Oh, let me get down these stairs. There was a tree here, but when we moved in, it was just a big, ugly stump full of termites. We're not sure if those have actually made it into the house or not. But we've cut what we could with the chainsaw and then cut a grid pattern in the top because the red, I saw somewhere where you can burn out the stump. But what I'm going to do is make it into a garden because I didn't necessarily want the stump there, but it's proving difficult to get rid of. And to get rid of it, you know, the wood ash from burning it out is going to be good for the soil. So here's what we have going on for right now. Oh, look at those. Those bring me so much joy. These are, they're called Cooper's Ice, and they're a succulent. I know, I've had these for a couple of years, and I just absolutely love them. Every year that they open up, I'm like, oh, pretty pom-poms. These are, literally, the only place to get any kind of sun in our whole yard is the front yard. So we're going to do some semi-raised bed gardening in the front yard because I can try and make it look nice in addition to being useful. These are cucumbers, and what I did here was I put down the weed barrier on top of the grass, and then I used some of this 4.5-inch landscape edging material, and so it's not a super big raised bed, but it's just enough up off the ground where we didn't have to till it, and it's not intrusive to, like, it doesn't look trashy in the neighborhood. So but these are cucumbers, and then they're planted in a mix of the cow manure and potting soil because I wanted to make sure they had a good start, and then we'll amend it as we get further into it. These are the yellow crookneck squash, and they have probably doubled in size since I put them in last week, as have the sweet banana peppers. They're doing really, really good. And my puny little okra over here that gets the most sun because it likes the sunniest spot. So we put the okra over here. And then over here, I know you're seeing a lot of kiddie pools. The kids have been out for a little bit, and it was something fun to do for them. But, and as soon as we bought the house, these bushes will come out. But these are, let me get out of the light here. This is tomatoes along this row in front of the bushes because they get a lot of good morning sun and a little bit of the afternoon sun, and then they just kind of chill out in the evening. And they've done really good here, with the exception of, like, when it rains really hard, the water comes off the roof line and hits the dirt behind them, so they get a little dirty. But and these are my string of bananas that I thought I had lost. They came back this summer when it started to warm up. They came back, and I was so excited to see those come back. These are the grapevines that we started in North Carolina. There's these two, this one here and this one here. Those are red grapes. And they don't have any, like, bunches on them yet, but they're still doing really, really well. I need to transplant this poor little guy because I'd finally got him planted where we thought we were going to stay, and then we ended up not being able to stay there. So I had to dig them up, put them in a pot, and drive them across country. But somehow it has decided that it has the will to live no matter where I put it. It's doing really, really good. Now these are blueberries. And we had, oh, I guess the birds ate them already this morning, but oh, there's some over there. These had blueberries already on them. I wasn't expecting to see any buds or blueberries until next year because they do take 2 years, but look at this, how well they're doing. And there's several blueberries on that one. These are the calla lilies. Now, if you know, my Facebook has been covered in beautiful flowers since Smithfields, and you know that these are my favorite things on the planet. My callas, they come up like cups of flame, and they're beautiful. And now, the blood red gladiolus, since I moved them over here and gave them some new soil, they're putting off buds that I am super excited to see here this year. Now, this little guy is our green grapevine. He's the only surviving of the 2 green grapevines that we planted. But check this out. Look at these guys. Had buds on them, and I wasn't sure what was going on. I'm like, oh my goodness, I think we have grapes. And we do. There are several bits on here that are covered in grapes. And so I'm super excited to see those doing so well. Now, hopefully, they'll get big enough that we'll be able to get some of them before the birds decide to eat them all. But in any event, they're doing really well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 bunches that I see from here. And look at that. That is just so neat to me. Okay, and this section over here, I'm going to do another section. Like, this is how I started the other one. I just staked it, the black fabric, and I gave it a couple of days to try and kill down some of the weeds and grass that are underneath it. This bed is going to go all the way around this section here along the sidewalk and over to the other part of the porch over here. And what's going to be planted there is like, we have some more tomato plants, some short berries, and so we had to dig up the stones around the stump so that I could make it wide enough. But what we've got is, just found me this beautiful purpley tomato. It's called the Midnight Snack Tomato. It's a little bigger than a cherry and not quite as big as a Roma. These are cucumbers. So these are more cucumbers. They're the heirloom Boston pickling cucumbers. This is watermelon. And then we have some cantaloupe and some more. Those are cherry tomatoes. These were my Mother's Day gift, and Trinity thought I was nuts because I was so happy and excited to see them. And she's like, how are you happy to see those? They're dead. They're not. They're Merritt's blue hydrangeas, and they're so beautiful. You know, I've trimmed all the flowers off of that one, but this one still has a couple of buds. I will trim those up so that so all this new growth here can settle in, and then I will probably put them into a pot temporarily until we know we're going to be here for a while. And these will be part of, so Jess's dad's name was Merritt, and Mama always loved beautiful flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant these as a pair in a memorial garden for my mom and Jess's dad. And so those will be there for that. This is the kiddie pool herb garden, which the other stuff hadn't come up yet, but you can see we've got 4 different types of basil. This is purple basil, regular basil, Thai basil, and that is cinnamon basil. In the middle, I have planted dill because my kids love pickles, and we put dill on pretty much everything. And then there is cilantro, oregano, and parsley planted around in the circle here. So it's dill, cilantro, oregano, parsley, purple basil, regular basil. We like basil in this house, can you tell? But it is getting super hot out here, and I'm just about out of breath. But when you stop to take a look at the things that bring you joy, you tend to be in amazement at what's been created. I never thought I could grow anything because for a very long time I never met a plant that I couldn't kill. And when we lived in North Carolina, I started doing research and trying to figure out why on earth I kill everything. And then, it turns out it's as simple as learning how your plants grow in nature and what they like and being a part of it. Now, this beautiful mum was given to me by a friend in the fall. I really thought this year, because of the move, we weren't going to be able to get mums because we were broke. I mean, we had spent everything we had to get back here home, and it was always a tradition that every year Mama bought the most beautiful mums because she just loved the fall and she loved the mums, and so every year I'd buy mums, and it was just something that I always loved that connected me to my mom. And last year I didn't think I was going to get to do that, but my beautiful friend Carla brought me this Aggie colored mum and a rust colored mum, and they were just so beautiful. Well, the other one kind of petered out and then died. Well, this one, as soon as it started getting warm and wet again, it came back to life. I've never seen a mum come back to life in the spring like this, because I thought they only like cooler weather, and mums have always been disposable as far as I knew, because, well, they never survived me. I just didn't think that they were something that would come back every year, but apparently they do. But welcome to our little paradise, and thank you for sharing my mess with me today, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.